Could you be holding a fortune in your pocket change? Imagine a single 1965 Washington quarter, with no mint mark, being worth up to $1.9 million. Sounds unbelievable? Well, today, we're diving deep into the mystery, the history, and the money behind one of America's most talked about coins. Let's rewind to 1965. The US Mint had just made a major change. Silver was out, copper nickel was in. The Coinage Act of 1965 eliminated silver from quarters due to rising silver prices. As a result, the 90% silver quarters that circulated until 1964 were replaced by clad coins starting in 1965. But here's the twist. Some experts believe that a few 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck on 90% silver planchets, left over from 1964. So where does the $1.9 million value come from? In the coin collecting world, rarity plus demand equals serious value. A handful of rare 1965 quarters have sold for thousands, even tens of thousands, especially if struck on silver planchets or with error features. One rumored specimen, allegedly sold in a private auction, was said to be a perfect condition silver 1965 quarter with unique traits. While $1.9 million hasn't been officially verified in public records, experts believe such a coin, in pristine condition, with historic error and authenticated by PCGS or NGC, could command that figure from the right collector. Now the big question: how do you know if your 1965 quarter is worth millions? Here's what to look for. If you see a solid silver edge with no copper stripe, it might be silver. A regular 1965 clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A silver one should weigh about 6.25 grams. Some errors from this period show doubling or off-metal strikes. Never assume. Always send potentially valuable coins to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. Even if yours isn't silver, there are other error coins from 1965 that could be worth hundreds or thousands. Doubling in the date or lettering coin isn't struck in the center 1965 quarters struck on dime planchets, debris, or fabric causing unique textures. Some of these coins have sold for $5,000 or more depending on rarity and condition. So, is every 1965 quarter worth millions? No. But should you be checking your change? Absolutely. Even if you don't hit the jackpot, learning to recognize rare coins can turn a hobby into a very profitable side hustle. If you think you've got something special, don't clean the coin, just get it appraised. You might be holding history in your hand. We're diving deep into the truth behind this viral coin claim. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. By 1966, quarters were made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, also known as clad composition. No more silver after 1964. Now here's where people get confused. The 1966 quarter has no mint mark. But don't panic, none of them do. In 1965, the US Mint temporarily removed mint marks to deter coin hoarding during the coin shortage. So, where did the $1.8 million story come from? Most likely, this claim came from viral clickbait and misinterpreted auction prices. While it's true that some rare coins fetch insane amounts, the 1966 quarter is not known for extreme rarity, unless there's something very special about it. Let's break down what actually makes a coin valuable. Rarity. How many exist today? Errors. Mint mistakes can mean big bucks. Condition. The better the grade, the higher the value. Historical significance. Was it transitional or special? For example, coins graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC. Those are in near-perfect condition, can be worth hundreds or even thousands. Now, here's where it gets interesting. There are some error coins from 1966 that are extremely valuable. Off-center strikes, these can go for hundreds. Double dies, rare but possible. Clipped planchets, worth a good premium. And if a coin has both an error and is in high grade, its value could skyrocket. So, has a 1966 quarter ever sold for $1.8 million? Nope. As of now, The highest known price for a regular 1966 quarter in pristine MS-68 condition is around $3,000 to $5,000. Still a lot, but not life-changing. Here's how you can check if your 1966 quarter is worth more than 25 cents. Check the condition. Look for sharp details, no scratches. Look for errors. Use a magnifying glass to spot misstrikes or double dies. Weigh it. Should be about 5.67 grams. Any difference might hint at an error. Get it graded. If you're serious, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional evaluation. So, is the 1966 no mint mark quarter worth $1.8 million? 1980p Washington quarter, and the wild claims about its insane value. There's a viral story floating around, a 1980 Washington quarter with a tiny P mint mark, supposedly sold for over $1 million. But is it real? Is your old change secretly worth a fortune? Stay tuned, because the truth will surprise you. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, originally designed to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. Over time, it became a permanent fixture of U.S. currency. In 1980, something subtle changed. The U.S. Mint added the P Mint mark for Philadelphia, a first for the quarter series. Before that, Philadelphia coins had no mint mark at all. Before we get to the $1 million claim, let's understand what makes a coin valuable. It usually comes down to three things. A normal 1980p quarter in circulated condition? Worth just 25 cents. But if it has a rare error, that's where things get interesting. Some 1980p quarters are known to have striking errors, like, these can fetch $50 to $500, sometimes more, depending on the severity and condition. But what about the $1.7 million claim? That's next. A few years ago, social media and some websites began circulating claims that a 1980p quarter sold for $1.7 million. These posts went viral, but they lacked one thing: proof. Sounds exciting, but where's the auction record? Let's find out. Major coin auctions, like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, keep detailed records. As of now, there is no verified record of any 1980p quarter selling for anything close to $1.7 million. That number likely comes from a misunderstanding or clickbait. The most valuable 1980p quarter we've seen sold for a few $100s due to a double die. So, the $1 million story? A myth, at least for now. Still, some 1980p quarters can be worth money. Here's how to check yours. Look under the date. You should see the P Mint mark. Examine the coin carefully under a magnifying glass. Look for unusual features, doubling, cracks, missing parts. If anything seems off, take it to a coin dealer or submit it to PCGS or NGC for grading. So unless you've got a wild error no one's ever seen before, your 1980p quarter is cool, but not retirement money cool. People love the idea of hidden treasure, especially in something as ordinary as pocket change. That's why these stories catch fire online, even when they're not fully true. And hey, it gets us all double-checking our spare change, and that's not a bad thing. So, is the 1980p quarter worth $1.7 million? Not likely. But some versions can still earn you a decent payout. And who knows, maybe a true rarity will surface one day. 1983 The U.S. Mint struck quarters at 3 locations: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The P Mint mark stands for Philadelphia. But here's the kicker: 1983 was smack in the middle of a coin shortage and a recession. So guess what? The U.S. Mint did not produce mint sets that year, which means collectors couldn't easily get uncirculated versions of these coins. Most 1983 quarters ended up in circulation. They got banged up, scratched, and worn down. So finding one in pristine condition? Extremely rare. Now you might ask, how does that lead to a $1 million coin? Let me break it down. A few rare 1983p quarters were struck on experimental planchets, or blanks that weren't standard copper-nickel. These planchets had a unique composition or error. In one reported case, A 1983 P quarter was mistakenly struck on a transitional error planchet, possibly a leftover from another coin denomination. It had off-metal content, making it a one-of-a-kind piece. When this error coin hit auction, its sharp strike, unusual color, and perfect preservation made collectors go wild, and it sold for $1.8 million. That's right, nearly $2 million, for a quarter. Okay, now you're probably wondering, do I have one of these million-dollar quarters? Look for the small P on the right side of Washington's ponytail. Coins with minimal wear are key. Look for full details in the hair and eagle feathers. Any odd coloring, unusual metal appearance, or extra thickness might indicate an error. Normal quarters weigh 5.67 grams. If your quarter is significantly off, you might have a rare strike. Remember, these weren't made for collectors, so high-grade ones are hard to find. If you suspect you've got something rare, weigh it on a precise scale and get it certified by PCGS or NGC, the top coin grading companies. In the coin world, grade is everything. Coins are graded from 1 to 70, and that 1983 P quarter that sold for $1.8 million. It was in mint state 67 plus or better. That means nearly flawless. And because no mint sets were released, finding a 1983 quarter in mint state is already like finding a needle in a haystack. As demand for error coins and ultra-rare strikes continues to rise, we're seeing values climb even higher. The million-dollar quarter story began when a collector noticed something strange about his coin. The color was off. The weight didn't match. Turns out, it was a striking error on a transitional planchet, and one of the few known to exist. After certification and buzz in the coin community, it was featured in a major auction. Competitive bidding drove the price sky high, finally landing at $1.8 million. It became one of the most expensive modern quarters ever sold, turning a 25-cent piece into a life-changing discovery. Now, before you run to your coin jar and start digging, here's what you can do. Check your 1983 quarters. Pay attention to mint marks and weight. Look for oddities, discoloration, thickness, or misprints. Get a second opinion. Use PCGS or NGC to authenticate your find. Join coin groups. Facebook, Reddit, and coin forums have experts who love helping. Subscribe here. I'll keep you posted on other coins that could be worth a fortune. Remember, it's not just about luck, it's about knowing what to look for. So keep your eyes open and your coins clean. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give us a thumbs up, share it with a fellow collector, and don't forget to subscribe for more money-making coin tips every week. And hey, if you think you've found a rare coin, drop a comment below or DM us on Instagram. Your quarter could be the next one to make headlines. 1984 D Washington quarter, rumored to be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Is it true? Why would this coin be so valuable? And could you have one? First, let's set the stage. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, honoring George Washington's 200th birthday. Designed by John Flanagan, it's one of the most collected coins in U.S. history. But most quarters are only worth, well, 25 cents. In 1984, the Denver Mint produced millions of quarters. So what makes this one so special? Rumors began circulating online that a 1984 D quarter sold for $1.7 million. That's more than a Lamborghini, a mansion, or even college tuition for 10 kids. But hold on, before you start flipping your couch cushions for quarters, let's ask the big question: is this true? Coin value is determined by rarity, condition, mint errors, and demand. Most 1984 D quarters in circulation are only worth face value, maybe a few bucks in mint condition. But some coins can skyrocket in value if they have extreme errors. We're talking about things like double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, or clash dies. So what about this specific 1984 D? Some believe it may have an ultra-rare error, or it was part of a high-profile private sale. But here's the thing. There is no official auction record of a 1984 D quarter selling for $1.7 million. Coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC have no listings of such a sale. The most valuable 1984 D quarter sold at auction? Around $1,300 to $2,000 in top grade MS-67 condition. Impressive, but far from millions. So where did this $1.7 million rumor come from? Some possibilities include clickbait news articles misinterpreted private sale values mistaking a different era coin for a 1984 door. It's just an internet myth. It's also possible someone submitted a listing at that price, but not an actual sale. On eBay, listings don't always reflect reality. Still, not all hope is lost. Some 1984 D quarters are worth money, especially if they're in pristine condition or have minor errors. So, is the 1984 D Washington quarter really worth $1.7 million? Probably not. But that doesn't mean your spare change is worthless. Rare era coins are still out there, and people have struck it rich with pocket change before. Check your coins. Do the research. And who knows, you just might stumble upon a hidden treasure. If you learned something new today, hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell for more videos on coin values, rare finds, and numismatic mysteries. 1990 Washington quarter. But wait, could this plain-looking coin actually be worth $1.8 million? Exploding head sounds insane, right? But it's true. Under the right conditions, a 1990p mint mark quarter could fetch a mind-blowing fortune. Stick around, because in this video we'll break down what makes this coin so incredibly valuable, how to identify one, and how you might already have a hidden treasure in your pocket. The Washington quarter has been around since 1932. It was created to celebrate the 200th birthday of our first president, George Washington. The design you see on the front, or obverse, was sculpted by John Flanagan and stayed nearly unchanged for decades. In 1990, the quarter was still made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, not silver. It was minted in large numbers. Over 613 million quarters came out of the Philadelphia Mint that year, which is where the P Mint mark comes in. Now here's where it gets juicy. One special 1990p quarter stunned the numismatic world when it was reported to have sold for a whopping $1.8 million at a private auction. But why? How could a coin from a common year, made of no precious metal, be worth that kind of money? The answer lies in mint errors, rarity, and condition. In this case, the $1.8 million quarter was an ultra-rare mint error, possibly a wrong planchet error, missing elements, or struck on silver planchet by mistake. Combine that with a pristine MS-68 or higher grade, and boom, you've got a once-in-a-lifetime coin. Here's how you can inspect your own 1990p quarters and possibly strike gold, or silver, in this case. Look just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse side. You should see a small p. That tells you it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Use a magnifying glass or coin loupe. You want to look for double diverse DDO, signs of doubled letters or numbers. Off-center strikes. If the image is not properly centered, wrong planchet, such as a silver-looking quarter from a year that didn't use silver. Normal 1990 quarters weigh about 5.67 grams. If your quarter is heavier or lighter, especially around 6.25 grams, it might have been struck on a silver planchet. If you think you've found something special, send it to a third-party grader like PCGS or NGC. A high grade like MS-67 or MS-68 can multiply its value astronomically. Coin grading is no joke. A 1990p quarter in average circulated condition is worth, well, 25 cents. But if it's in mint state, especially MS-67 or higher, collectors go wild. An MS-67 could sell for $500 to $1,500 depending on demand. But a rare error in MS-68 or MS-69? That's where those million-dollar stories come in. Grading companies will authenticate the coin, grade its condition, and sometimes even note the specific error, which can drastically increase its market value. Let's get real, not every 1990p quarter is worth millions. There are tons of hoaxes and clickbait articles claiming your everyday pocket change is priceless. Always do your research and verify with experts. But genuine million-dollar finds do happen. especially when you combine a rare mint era with perfect preservation. So, next time you get a quarter and change, don't just toss it in a jar. Look closely. That little piece of metal might just change your life. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on the next rare coin spotlight. Got a rare coin? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear what treasures you've found. And if you think you found a valuable 1990p quarter, take a pic and tag me on Instagram at RareCoinHunter. 1995 D Washington quarter might just be hiding a jackpot of $1.7 million. Sounds crazy, right? But there's a catch. Today, we're diving deep into the facts, the fakes, and the real value of this infamous coin. The Washington quarter has been a staple in U.S. currency since 1932. But the 1995 D quarter, minted in Denver, has gained recent viral attention for supposedly being worth a fortune. So why is this one quarter supposedly worth over $1 million? Let's break it down. The value of any coin depends heavily on three factors: rarity, condition, and demand. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC assess coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. Most 1995 D quarters in circulation are worth 25 cents, maybe a little more if they're in nice shape. But in mint state 67 or higher, a pristine coin can fetch a few $100s, or in rare cases, over $1,000. But $1.7 million? That's a huge stretch. Where did this number come from? Over the last few years, social media has been flooded with claims like this quarter is worth millions. Often these videos show ordinary coins with exaggerated claims, designed to go viral, not tell the truth. Don't get me wrong, rare coins can be worth millions. But there's no verified 1995 D quarter that's ever sold for even close to $1.7 million. These viral numbers? Most likely clickbait. Here's when your 1995 D quarter could actually be worth something. Double strikes, off-center errors, wrong planchets, etc. An MS-70 or extremely rare MS-68 graded quarter could pull strong prices. Sealed original mint rolls could bring collector interest. In one example, a near-perfect 1995 D quarter graded MS-68 sold for around $1,500. That's a lot, but a far cry from $1.7 million. So what should you do if you find a shiny 1995 D quarter that looks flawless or a bit off? Don't clean it. Seriously, cleaning can ruin its value. Check for errors. Look for double dies, missing details, or misalignments. Compare it to verified examples on PCGS or NGC websites. Submit it for grading if it looks promising. While it's unlikely your 1995 D quarter is worth $1 million, some are worth a surprising amount, and coin collecting is a fun treasure hunt anyone can start. Smash that like button if you learned something new today, and subscribe for more deep dives into rare coins, valuable finds, and collector secrets. Got a coin you're curious about? Drop it in the comments. 1997 P Washington quarter. Yes, you heard that right. A simple quarter, 25 cents, potentially worth millions. Let's break down the facts, the myths, and what makes this coin so special. Make sure you watch until the end, because I'll reveal exactly what to look for, and who knows, maybe you're holding one right now. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, originally struck to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. The obverse features the iconic profile of Washington, and the reverse until 1998 showed an eagle with outstretched wings. In 1997, the U.S. Mint produced quarters at both the Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D mints, with over 595 million quarters minted in Philly alone. So how could one of these be worth over $1 million? Let's quickly break down what gives a coin its value. While most 1997 P quarters are only worth face value, a very tiny number might feature one or more rare minting errors, and those are what coin collectors go crazy for. There's been buzz around a supposed 1997 P Washington quarter that sold, or is valued at, $1.8 million due to a combination of extreme minting error, pristine condition, and collector demand. While there's no verified public auction at that price, sources say that one private collector may have paid this jaw-dropping amount for a quarter that met all of these conditions. This quarter is more than just money, it's a unicorn in the coin world. Host a desk with magnifying glass and coins. Okay, time to put on your detective glasses. Here's how you can check your 1997 P quarters. Look for the P mint mark on the front of the coin, near Washington's ponytail, doubling in the letters. Liberty, in God we trust. Or the date. Clean surfaces, no scratches, strong luster. Look at the reverse, eagle side, for possible die cracks, missing parts, or striking errors. Get it graded. If you suspect something special, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional evaluation. If you think you've struck gold, or, in this case, silver-plated copper, don't rush to sell it on eBay. Here's what to do instead. Don't clean the coin. It can destroy value. Document your find, photos, video, where you found it. Get it professionally graded. Consult coin dealers or auction houses for next steps. You could be holding your next vacation, or your next mansion. The 1997 P Washington quarter might just be hiding in your change jar, and one in perfect condition with the right error could be worth life-changing money. If you learned something new today, or if you're rushing to check your piggy bank now, smash that like button and subscribe for more rare coin videos every week. Let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? 1998 P Washington quarter that reportedly sold, or is claimed to be worth, a staggering $1.6 million. Moneybag, yes, you heard that right, a modern quarter worth more than a Lamborghini, a beach house, or even a small private jet. Is this real? Could you have one of these $1 million coins sitting in your pocket change right now? Let's break down the facts, the myths, and the true value of this fascinating coin. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and what's just hype. The 1998 Washington quarter was struck in Philadelphia, hence the P mint mark. Over 896 million of these quarters were minted, making it a very common coin in everyday circulation. But not all 1998 quarters are created equal. Some rare varieties and mint errors can significantly increase a coin's value. Before we get into the $1 million claim, let's talk quickly about what can actually make a coin like this so valuable. If only a few exist due to a mint error or a unique production process, collectors will pay big. A mint state or uncirculated coin can be worth far more than a scratched-up pocket coin. Sometimes, a viral story or sensational auction price can spark wild interest, even speculation. So where does the $1.6 million figure come from? This story has made rounds on websites, blogs, and even social media platforms like TikTok and YouTube Shorts. But here's the truth. There's no verified auction record or credible numismatic source that confirms a 1998 P quarter has sold for that amount. It's likely that this value is based on an extreme hypothetical scenario, like an ultra-rare era coin or a one-off strike that hasn't been publicly confirmed. That doesn't mean valuable 1998 quarters don't exist, but we have to separate fact from fiction. Double die averse or reverse, if discovered, possibly hundreds, clipped planchets or wrong metal composition, some error coins sell for $500 to $1,000 plus, proof like business strikes or full strike detail, graded high by PCGS or NGC. The highest confirmed value for a 1998 P quarter is typically around $1,000 to $3,000, for coins in perfect condition with errors. Graded examples by PCGS and MS68 condition have fetched hundreds, maybe thousands, but nothing near $1 million. If you think you have a rare coin, the next step is authentication. Send your coin to a reputable third-party grading service like PCGS, NGC, or NAX. They'll verify its authenticity, condition, and any potential errors. Even if you don't have $1 million coin, a $100 or $500 find is still a fantastic win for something that cost you just 25 cents. So, is the 1998 P Washington quarter worth $1.6 million? The short answer, almost certainly not. But there are some legitimate reasons why certain coins from that year can fetch impressive prices. If you come across a pristine 1998 P quarter with visible errors or unusual features, it's worth getting it checked out.